Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mangs and I just got home from vacation, and just as I suspected in my absence, we got Treehouse's news. We got some new characters, some new features, some merchandise, and some other little details that I would like to cover. Most of these news are not like brand new, they were released a couple of days back, but I didn't get a chance to cover them until now. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump into it. So first of all, let's talk about the new teacher character, Jarett, and he is a pretty unfriendly dude, let me just tell you that. We got a bit of a character profile video on him, so I'll play that now. So his profile basically reads that he is a teacher at the Officers Academy, and he is a fencing instructor, so his main duty is basically to teach sword skills to students. However, he very much dislikes mingling with others. He does not like socializing at all. If you try to go and have a chat with him, he'll just outright ignore you, so not a very sociable fellow right here. But his skill with the sword is apparently undeniable. On a side note, we have gotten confirmed that sword masters will be in the game. We sort of knew this already, or we sort of suspected that they would, but we haven't gotten it revealed up until this point. And actually, the character Catherine, the blonde hot lady with the armor and the cool sword, she's actually a sword master at base, so that's kind of cool. I didn't think we'd get a game without swordmasters in it, but, you know, I was sort of wondering if maybe they'd scrap it in favor of some other class. Anyway, back to Jarett. A lot of people really like the design of this guy. He seems very brooding, seems very dark. For me, for some reason, when I first saw him, I thought of Laurent from Awakening. I don't know why. Like, he's sort of like a more macho, dangerous version of Laurent. I don't know why. His hair is really weird. I also took me a while to notice that he's actually sort of wearing a mask. I'm wondering if that's sort of like a fencing mask or something. He seems like a really interesting character, and I hope we get to know more about him soon. Next up, we got the character Flame, and oh boy, the internet loves this character. She's got this huge green hair with the buns on the side. She's got this innocent, childlike expression in her face. Mainly because, you know, she's actually a child. She's not a student. She is the younger sister of Setheth, that's the advisor guy to Archbishop Rhea, the one we see standing next to her all the time. And what's kind of funny about this character is that back with the Tannenbaum leaks, Tannenbaum predicted that there would be one character who wasn't a student that everyone would love. And I very much think that Flame was the character Tannenbaum was talking about, because the moment she got sort of announced, the internet just went crazy. I think it's because she reminds people of Nino. She's apparently a very friendly gal. She befriends people at the monastery. However, she's also extremely curious, and that often gets her into really tricky situations. And her older brother, Setheth, really worries about her a lot. Let's take a look at her character profile video.
私は生徒ではありませんのよ。機会があれば私も生徒として学んでみたいのですけれど、お兄様しか家族がいないので修道院に住まわせてもらっているだけですの。
So, as I said, she's not a student, though she may become a student one day when she gets older, but apparently she will be playable. Her starting class is listed as a priest, which means that she is a healer. That seems to make sense for her. And again, I'm just getting major Nino vibes with this character. It's no wonder the internet loves her so much. Next up, we got another teacher named Shamir, or Shamir, I'm not really sure how to pronounce her name, and we don't really have a lot of profile information about her yet, no videos or anything like that, no official art, but we do have this little image of her portrait, although it is very small, and I gotta say, I really like the design of this chick so far. Apparently she instructs in the use of lances and bows. What I really think about when I look at her portrait is like FE7 Layla. I don't know why, but she reminds me a lot of Layla. Just her facial expression sort of reminds me of it. Really cool character. I really hope we get to see more of her soon. Next up, we've gotten some information regarding what certain characters will look like post-time skip. We've gotten some information about students and how they will change after the 5-year time skip. Not any official character art just yet, but we've seen their in-game models, so to speak. For example, we know that Lorenz actually ditches his haircut after the 5-year time skip. Thank God. However, I won't be covering all the changes here in this video because I want to save that for my character preview series. Now, we did a character preview of Edelgard a couple days back, and it did really well. The feedback was very positive, so I'll definitely do more. It's just I've been on vacation, so I haven't had a chance to upload the videos yet, but we're working on 2 more at the moment, and we'll have more when I come back. So definitely let me know in the comment section what characters you want to see the most, and I'll do the ones who are most popular. I'll probably have an emphasis on Black Eagle students first, because that's the route I'll be going with. So yeah, I'll be showing off the post-time skip and pre-time skip versions of the students when I get to them eventually, but for now I'll hold off on it. However, Lucky Crit did a really good video where he showed off all the time skip designs. If you want to go check that, I'll throw a link to it in the description, but until then, you'll have to wait until the character previews come out. Next up, let's talk about the game's official download size. It has been revealed at 11.9 gigabytes, so that is the amount of space you'll need available on your Switch if you want to download it from the online store. Now, this has a lot of people extremely worried because 11.9 gigabytes on a Switch game is not a lot. If we compare that with Fire Emblem Warriors, which is by no means a lengthy or very extensive game, that was 13 gigabytes in size, so a lot of people are worried that this means Treehouse is going to be a very short game. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. You can't just compare a game judging by its download size. Could be that Warriors with all its cinematics took up a lot more space than it needed to. And we do know that this game runs on sort of the same engine, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we can compare the two in terms of size. Maybe Treehouses will have less chapters than a standard Fire Emblem game. I do believe most Fire Emblem games tend to have around 20 to 30 chapters to them, but I think that all the replayability and little stuff you can do at the Monastery will more than make up for it. We saw this save game from some people who played the game, and they were on chapter 8 or 9, and they had already played the game for 12 hours. So I think there's more than enough things to sink your teeth into if you want a lengthy game. We've also gotten confirmed that there is no online multiplayer in Treehouses, at least not in the form of the GBA-style arena battles or the Fates multiplayer or anything like that. Personally, I don't really care. Fire Emblem is not a multiplayer game. I don't think it ever will be. However, apparently there will be some sort of interaction. You might be able to visit other monasteries and interact with students. We have the screenshot right here of someone talking to an exchange student. We can see Ash here, and he says that he's an exchange student from Valentia. We don't really know what this means. Valentia might be the user attached to Ash. However, a lot of people have speculated that this might mean that you'll be able to recruit some students via the online feature over to your side. And this just makes me super excited. Will I actually be able to do Byleth quests? Now, if you don't know, back in Fates, I did something called Corin Quest, where I went and recruited Corins from other castles, and I basically did playthroughs of Fates using other people's Corins. It was an extremely popular concept, one that I have done many times since, and if we can do Byleth quests, or student quests, and actually go and recruit other people's students, even if you can't customize their appearance or names, I think it's still going to be a really fun thing to do, so fingers crossed that this will actually be a thing. But yeah, it definitely seems like there will be some interaction, but no online multiplayer, like in Fates. Next up, we've gotten it confirmed that paid DLC will be in this game. I don't know if anyone was surprised by this. I certainly wasn't. Of course, there's going to be DLC in a Nintendo game. They love that shit. It's basically a license to print money for them. A lot of people like buying DLC. There's a lot of complaints online about it. People don't like it. I'm not a big fan of the concept myself. I think that we should just get the whole game. You know, we pay for the whole game. Just give us everything you've made. I'm not a big fan of chopping away pieces of content and including it as extra DLC on launch. It's like ordering a pizza, but you get 3/4 of the pizza, and the remaining pizza is yeah, if you pay a little bit more, you can get this. No, just give me the whole pizza, please. That's what I paid for. But yeah, I'm not going to turn this into a DLC debate. You know, it's here to stay. A lot of people don't like it, but also a lot of people do buy it. So, you know, if we want Nintendo to stop making DLC, we're just going to have to stop purchasing it. But truth of the matter is, if Treehouse is a good game, then I probably will buy the DLC for it, because I like extra contents. You know, I may have a problem with DLC as a concept, but that doesn't mean I'm going to deprive myself of the content. I'm going to show it off on my channel at the very least. I feel like I have an obligation to do it. It was much the same with Echoes. I wasn't a big fan of the Echoes DLC. It was way too pricey, but I still bought the Season Pass because I wanted to show off all the content on my channel, even though I personally probably wouldn't have bought it just for myself. But, you know, it's up to each player individually. The DLC isn't going to be required to experience the whole story, at least, you know, that's what we think. I can't imagine they would, hide major story elements behind a paywall. That would be very scummy and definitely a new source of controversy, but I don't think they will do that. It'll probably just be grinding DLC, money DLC, and other helpful things. Maybe there'll be a couple of bonus characters in there, but at the end of the day, you know, it's here to stay. We can accept it, or we can just not buy it. So from DLC over to actual physical merchandise, we have a crap ton of merchandise announced for Tree Houses, and some of it looks absolutely amazing. I might just try to get my hands on some. We got some acrylic key holders with pictures of the various students. They look really nice. We got some hand towels with pictures of the different house logos. Got some pass cases and some metallic clear files. We also got some acrylic stands, which are basically these little 2D models that you can display around in your apartments. Currently, we have female and male Byleth. We got Sothis, and we got Edelgard, Dimitri, and Claude. They all look really, really nice. We also got some can badges with pictures of the various students. And finally, we also got a miniature version of Ike's Ragnell, as well as Mart's Falchion. So if you're interested in picking these up, I'm going to be showing a link in the video description to sites that sell them. I imagine they will be pretty expensive though, so definitely don't do this unless you have a lot of money to spend. But yeah, some of these look really nice. I might just order a few, and it's going to be very interesting to see the quality of these. If I ever do get one, I will definitely do an unboxing where I show it off on the channel, because some of these are absolutely amazing. Next up, Serenus Forest released a huge article called Exploring the Monastery, where they talk about all the little things you can do at the monastery itself. However, because a recent Famitsu article already covered this, I have already talked about it in previous videos, so there's not a whole lot of news in this article, but there are two features that I haven't talked about, the first one being the drill grounds. So the drill grounds is a very interesting concept. Basically, you send students into battle against the students from other houses in sort of a tournament, and if they defeat them, they can get rewards. Reminds me a lot of the arena battles from the Fates My Castle features, and also a little bit of the drill grounds from Fire Emblem Heroes of Light and Shadow, you know, the game that was only released in Japan. And basically, these drill grounds will have tournaments based around certain weapon types. So for example, there might be a lance tournament, and you can send your characters into duel with lances, or maybe there'll be a bow tournament. And again, if you win against students from other houses, you'll get rewards. I really like this feature. Sounds like you might get a little bit of experience out of it as well. Then we have the Amiibo Gazebo, and again, like, we don't have a lot of information about it, but I assume you'll be able to interact with your Amiibos in one way or another. You go into it, maybe scan an Amiibo, you get some bonuses. I don't really know, but it's just really cool that it's there. So yeah, those two things I haven't covered yet, so I felt like talking about them. Next up, I want to talk about the videos that was uploaded by the YouTuber Player Essence, who was invited to come play the Treehouses demo and actually got to record a little bit of footage. Now, I watched the entire video that he uploaded of the in-game footage, and there wasn't a whole lot in it that was new that I haven't talked about previously, except for one thing that actually makes me really relieved, and that is the fact that Fire Emblem Three Houses will actually have really good FPS, at least the in-game portions of the game, and it will look a lot smoother than it has up until now. I don't know why the footage released so far have looked a little bit choppy and weird, probably because it's taken from a beta version of the game where they haven't sharpened the textures yet. But basically, he talks a lot about in his videos how smooth everything looks, how everything flows really nicely, and how the graphics actually look really good. Yeah, even the textures of the trees in the videos that he uploaded look a lot better than previous footage we've seen. And when he floats around on the battlefield in the 60 FPS, it actually looks marvelous. It actually looks pretty. And this was one of the main concerns people had about Tree Houses, is that it was going to be a choppy, ugly game. It might be fun to play, but it won't look good. This is actually not the case at all. Now, we haven't seen many of the updated cinematics yet, but it looks like they'll be a lot better than what we've seen so far. They've been released in what I think is 30 FPS, but they probably will be 60 FPS by the time it goes live. It's just that the footage that they're uploading right now is not representative of what we'll actually see in the game itself. This is really good news for me. I was very worried that the game was not going to look good, but at least according to this YouTuber, it looks absolutely amazing, and once we'll actually play it in person, he says that we will be impressed with the game and how it looks. It's not going to be as bad as some people thought it was going to be. So, great news. I really dig this. I hope he's right, because if Treehouses can play well and look well, that's definitely going to be a positive thing in my book. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up this video here, even though I know there's technically more to talk about, because I want to get this video out quickly before I have to leave again. I'm going on another vacation on Wednesday, smaller one, up to my family cabin. I'll be home on Sunday. By the time I get home, there's probably going to be even more Treehouses news to talk about. But as always, guys, if there's something I haven't covered yet in any of my previous videos, definitely let me know about it in the comment section below, and upvote any comments you see that are helpful to increase their visibility so that I can see them more easily. I also like it when you guys tag me in social media when there's news released, because that makes me aware of it faster. There's a lot more to talk about, guys, so this will not be the last video on tree houses. So definitely expect more coming out soon, and also I'm working on some more character previews. We'll get those out as well. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Give this video a like and a comment if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more tree houses news. My name is Mangs, and I'll see you lovely ladies and gentlemen later. Bye bye.